Alright guys, welcome back. So today I need to get these giant sequoias potted up. They'll start having root rot and stuff if I leave them in there. So what I'm going to do first is I actually need to get this aloe vera plant out of this container because it's got two what they call pups. It's got two of them over here, and I need to get those out and get those in another container. But from everything I researched, I never transplanted an aloe vera plant before. From everything I researched, I actually need to take them out and let them sit for about 24 hours to form a callus and then repot them. And I'm not supposed to use the same potting mix, so I'll be putting that in a bucket and probably taking it outside or something. So let's work on these guys first and get them, you know, where they're working on building a callus, and then we'll work on the giant sequoias. And hopefully I don't make a horrendous mess in here. This poor plant has actually been dropped off of a counter like multiple times. That's why it has so many like bent leaves on it. Thankfully this is a succulent and it's actually very forgiving. Alright, so I'm gonna take the soil and just kind of break it apart here. See if I can get to the roots. There they are. Oh, one of them already fell off. Okay, so there is a pup. I guess that's what it's called. Just set that one aside. See if we can work the other one out of here. This leaf is kind of falling off. Wondering if I could go ahead and just take it off. I think I will. And my understanding is you just try to gently work them out. There's the other one. Alright. Two pups. And now we have our main plant here. And I'm just getting some of the soil off. I'm gonna take this leaf off. It's kind of in the way. You know, I could actually maybe plant this leaf too. I'm going to just peel it, and I'll put that in the pot and see what happens. Alright, so now these need to sit in the open air for 24 hours. I'm just going to put them over here on the shelf. Alright. So, aloe veras are taken care of, hopefully for tomorrow morning. Oh, excuse me, got an itch. Tomorrow morning I can pot them up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this garden soil, and this is not the appropriate soil for sequoias. And what I'm going to do, I don't have any gravel. It's supposed to be like 30% gravel. What I do have is I do have styrofoam, shredded styrofoam. You guys can see that. There you go. Shredded styrofoam that I normally use in the concrete bricks. And I also have some perlite. So, oh, I better put this over there before I lose it. This leaf isn't looking too terribly good. I'm wondering if I ought to even try to, well, I guess I can try. If it doesn't take, then it doesn't take. Okay, so, as I was saying, I'm going to put the potting soil in here, mix in some of the styrofoam and some of the perlite. I don't have a whole lot of shredded styrofoam, so I'm thinking I'm thinking it's going to be more perlite than styrofoam. And I'm sorry, I've got like dust in my nose and it itches really bad. Anyway, So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up. And I also do have some of that shredded pine shavings that have not been treated with the borax and stuff, so I think I may actually mix some of that in there too, because it does say something about 3/8 fine bark. Well, I don't have bark, but I have shavings. Hopefully we don't kill these sequoias. I bought 3 of them in the past. I've tried to raise trees before, and unfortunately I didn't have the proper setup for them to get enough sunlight and all sorts of other stuff, and the humidity was wrong, and I ended up killing them. So I am hoping with the greenhouse and just learning a little bit more about this that I will be able to keep these alive. So anyway, let's get with the soil here. Alright, this is pretty moist. I don't know if I have enough here for 50 pots, but we will try. Let me get the pots out. And these are cheapo pots that I bought on Amazon. And they actually came with their own little labels, but those are really tiny. So I bought some other labels that are much larger. Alright. The first batch out here, I need to put this somewhere that I can reach it. Does it stop blocking cameras? Let's move that. Put that there. Well, it's blocking the camera, isn't it? Oh well, we'll just put it on the floor. I guess I should have moved this container earlier. Alright. Throw some of this stuff back in there. Okay. Alright. So, these are just the really... it doesn't really need plastic, but okay. These are just the really thin 4-inch. And you know, these are actually not really big enough. I don't want to cut any roots. I'm going to have to buy bigger pots. But for the moment, these will do. What I'll do is hopefully their tap roots aren't too strong and I can just kind of, I hate to curl them around, but I'm going to need to curl them around. So what I'll do here is I'm just going to pot up a couple of these, and then I'll just skip forward to the end result. They're well packaged, and they look pretty healthy. So the brown that you see on them, that's actually just young evergreen. They start off as kind of this brownish color. May have to get the scissors out. I just don't want to get the scissors out because I don't want to cut any of the roots on accident. But they aren't messing around with this, that's for sure. There are people walking in the hallway.
Huh?
He said there are people walking in the hallway.
I'm people? I'm a person?
Well, actually I'm recording, so I just wanted to try to, I wanted to try to get these little guys planted. My pots aren't quite big enough. But I don't want to leave them in the plastic any longer than necessary. Okay guys, so I stopped the video, went and did a little bit of research. I really don't want to damage the roots on these things because I actually really like the way that they were grown. They were grown in some of those tall seed starters, so the roots have come down, and that's what I want. I want them to look for water down. I don't want them to necessarily spread out. So I have these covered right now just to block some of the light. But in that case, these little pots that I had, because the roots, looks like there's a main tap root in here, and I don't want to bend them and I don't want to break them, and unfortunately these pots are way too small. So what I'm thinking is drilling a couple holes in this, filling it up probably close to halfway. I'm most likely going to end up using most of my potting soil, and then literally taking all of them and planting them in here temporarily until I can get some larger pots, some deeper pots, so that I can put them in those pots without damaging the roots. So the one thing that's kind of sucks about this is I really need some drainage. So I'm going to take and drill some holes around the outside here. I'm just going to drill holes all over the place so that it can have some drainage. I may have, I used to have one of those like milk carton boxes. I've got one right there. I don't know if it's big enough. The other thing I could do is, instead of ruining this box, I could take all the stuff out of that box. I know you can't see it right now, sorry. But I know that's got holes on the bottom. Let me look at this real quick here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this stuff out, dump it into that box. And then I can use this one. Man, it's kind of heavy. Okay. Let me get this one emptied out real quick. Alright. So, let me think about what we can do with this here real quick. I know, little guys, you're like, why are we out? I'm just gonna cover there. Alright. Well, this is what happens. So, thing is, if I dump the soil in here, I mean, I want it to drain, I just don't want it to drain too much. Alright, there we go. So, I've got a bunch of peanuts over here. Styrofoam peanuts. If I were to put one layer on the bottom, and now the dog's barking, I've got to go let the dog out. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to put a layer of styrofoam peanuts down here in the bottom. And that will also help keep them insulated. And then I think what I can do is I think I could get a trash bag, like put this in a trash bag, put one of the bungee cords around it that I just found, cut the bottom off so that it drains, and put the styrofoam down there so that I'm not losing all my soil. That sounds like the best on-the-fly plan to do. Okay. I hope this bag is big enough. Leave it right there. Get the bungee, some bungee. This one might actually be too long. Well, we'll find out. Okay. Yeah, maybe not. Might just be. All right. It's gonna be tight. Just get these two together, okay. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so put one bungee there, put one bungee on the bottom, cut off the bottom of the bag. If I can find another bungee that's that long. That one looks like it'd be, looks like it'd work. Alright. One bungee there. Next bungee down at the bottom. Alrighty, two bungees are on. Now, just take scissors. Yes, I talk to things that cannot talk back to me. Like you guys, actually. You guys can't actually talk back to me except for in the comments. Alright. Here we go. By the way, plastic. Almost every type of plastic can actually be turned back into diesel fuel, so... And you can make... You can do homemade equipment to do it. I haven't done that yet, but I'm thinking about it. Alright, let's get the styrofoam in there now. I don't know if I want that type of styrofoam. I just need some peanuts here, guys. Alright. Hopefully those will be big enough. They're not going to be big enough. You know what? I have... Those aren't going to work. I do have some... what do you call it? Like screen for windows and stuff. I do have some of that. I'm going to cut a piece of that, put it across the bottom. That should work just fine. Probably should have thought of that in the first place. Hey, you know, making things up as I go. Okay. I could actually still put the styrofoam in there as a drainage and insulation for these plants. All right, let me... Okay, so I got my screen here. So just find a nice happy length. I think right about there should be good. Where did my big scissors go? Ah, there they are. I'm knocking everything down too. Now we got screen to go on the bottom. Let's roll back up. I'm just gonna set that right there for now. Alright, put our screen down in here. Try to get it somewhat. Okay, stop folding on me. Move it this way a bit. Cut it a little bit large. Oh well. It really just needs to cover the bottom. It really doesn't need to do much else. And I think I got it. Alright. Throw some styrofoam in here. We'll just do one layer of the styrofoam. I don't need a piece that big. Alright, now, we have to take a break here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to take these little guys, set them over here. Trying to keep them together because they're moist. I don't want to lose the moisture. Ooh, ooh, don't roll away. Bad little tree. Alright, now I'm going to start scooping this in here, I guess. Where did my other thing go? There it is. This up and set it to the side. Make some more soil up real quick. Well, I hope that's enough soil now. It's really not. I really need to bring it all the way up. So, we'll keep going. Now I've got to get 50 trees in here. Hopefully we can do this. I'm trying to think of something that I can just stick down in there to make a hole real quick. I think that would work. I think that's deep enough. That's not deep enough. Okay. Not deep enough. Well, it would be if my soil. Heck, I gotta make some more. Alright. I'm going to go find myself a really light watering can, and I will be right back. I really don't want to hit these guys with a ton of water, but at the same time, I want to get those air pockets out. And I really need to kind of lift this thing up because I've got a piece of wood underneath here. So we'll see how this goes. Wow, that got heavy. I'm supposed to put a bag of try not to soak my piece of wood underneath here. I don't really mind if it runs off the table, but I just don't want it to soak my wood. I still haven't figured out a way to water these darn things. Okay. Alright. I may see if I can get this outside so that these guys can get some sunlight. Because I know these trees actually like direct sunlight. Just a bit for the moment. Well. Oh, yeah, there's the water. There's the button underneath there. There we go. Okay, so now that I've got my water draining onto the floor, or actually into this bucket, I had concrete, I have cement underneath the table, so this was probably not the best place to be doing this. I will keep you updated on how these little guys are doing. Tomorrow we'll do the aloe vera plants, put those in new pots. I still have enough soil to do that. I will have to get more soil though, because like I said, I have a ton of trees and seeds coming, and you know, the seedling trays and the little pots would be fine probably for some of them, but if I've got these long roots on them, I'm gonna have to find more baskets and stuff to put them in. Hope you found that useful for coming up with a unconventional basket to put lots of seedlings in. Just a quick note here, as you can see, these trees are starting to wake up. So, I've been planting for several days. I'll show you the greenhouse here in a minute. But they are starting to wake up, and I've got to get them in these pots. Okay guys, so I have this bucket here, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take all of these small root cuttings that I've got, and I'm going to plant them in here. I don't know if they will actually grow. I kind of doubt it, to be honest, but I figured, why not give it a shot? And if I get a couple that do decide to grow, then great. So, I'm going to dump these into here. Now, my bucket here was getting full anyways. And most of these are pine cuttings. There are some aspen cuttings as well. I don't know how they'll do. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm going to get these organized and we'll just see what happens. Actually put the aspens in a different, the aspen cuttings, root cuttings in a different container. These are the Loblolly pines cuttings. I have no idea if these are gonna do anything. I don't expect them to, but hey, if I can get a free tree or two, that would be nice. Alright guys, so these are all the trees that we got planted this week. Most of them are the, whoops, I almost fell over. Loblolly pines. That's all these. And then we have the giant sequoias that I had to put into these containers for the moment. I will be transplanting those probably in a week or two. I just kind of wanted to let them settle down. They had they were starting to get a little bit stressed from the shipping. And then we have the Quaking Aspens back here. And we have the Coast Redwoods. So this is actually the largest tree in the world. I think they get to 360 feet. And then these get up to around 320 feet. And I do have another batch of trees coming that are the Dawn Redwood. And they're an evergreen, but they shed their leaves. So they're kind of interesting. And they actually get pretty large too. I think somewhere in the 200s. I'd have to look it back up. But so far, we have 100 of the Loblolly pines. We have 72 of the giant sequoias. There are 11 of the aspens. And then we've got 10 of the coast redwoods. So that's what's in the greenhouse so far, and I may have to rearrange this because these things are taller than I thought they were, and they don't really fit in between the shelves here. So I may actually spread the shelves out, take that one off and spread them out a little bit more, just so I can have a little bit more room here. All right, well, waiting for more trees to arrive. There might be some today. There's going to be some more next week. They're going to keep arriving, I think, through April or maybe even May. Most of these will probably stay in the greenhouse for this year, with the exception of maybe the really fast-growing ones like the Quaking Aspen, because they can grow up to like 10 or 12 feet in a year. And these are already leafing out, so they might take off like a rocket. I don't know. This little guy's like stuck. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So yeah, they are getting ready to shoot up, and I may have to move them sooner than the other plants. And we'll just see how they do. I will probably have to end up transplanting many of these before the end of the growing season. We'll have to see. Alright, well that's it for the trees for right now. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you would. And if you find this interesting, do share it with people. Alright, have a great day, everybody.